Hey guys, it's Holly. So today I wanted to go through all of my Disney minifigures, and by this I sort of mean like my Disney classics. This doesn't include any of the princesses or any Pixar minifigures because there is just so many of them that we will be here all day. I am a huge minifigure fan. Like, they are my favorite aspect about LEGO. I love collecting all of my favorite characters from pop culture. So when the Disney minifigure series came out, I was obsessed. And since then, we've gotten quite a few extra, and it makes me really happy to see them all together. So I thought I would go through them all in this series, starting off with the Disney classics. So first up, of course, is Mickey Mouse, and this is the version that came in the original Disney CMF series, and at the time, luckily, he was only, I think, $5 or $6 when I bought him, and he's got dual molded legs as well as printing. I mean, his torso is pretty basic for a CMF, but then again, a lot of that budget came from the molded head, which we have seen reused quite a lot these days. And of course, you can't have Mickey without Minnie, and this version, hands down, is my favorite Minnie Mouse figure that we have ever gotten, and honestly was one of the most exciting parts when I bought the giant D2C Disney castle, as she is exclusive to that set. I mean, these days, she also comes on a keychain, but it's a lot harder to sort of take those figures off the keychains than it was sort of the magnets from back in the early 2010s, and this Minnie is just the classic red and white one, and she is absolutely adorable. I love her eyelashes so much. She has to be one of my favorites, honestly. Next up is Donald Duck, and he actually came in technically two sets, one being the Disney CMF Series 1, as well as the Disney Castle. So I've got two of this figure hanging around, and one of them sticks inside my Disney frame, and the other one actually sits outside of my Disney D2C Castle. He's absolutely adorable. I love his little hat. I love his head. He's such a classic. You have to love Donald. Next up is Goofy. Not that you can quite see his eyes because his nose is so giant, but Goofy was exclusive to the Disney train set. Now, I bought this figure ages ago off Bricklink, but I ended up getting the Disney train, so I actually sold one of them, and I love this Goofy. He's such a classic. His head is incredible, and his head has actually been recently brought back. However, his torso and his legs stay exclusive, and again, he's an absolute classic. And it's actually kind of a shame that we get Donald and Goofy, but no Sora, but that's a conversation for another day. And next up, to go alongside Donald, we of course have Daisy Duck, and she is looking cute as ever. She has the same molded head as Donald, just a different color, and the same molded bow as Minnie, again, just a different color. Then she's just got a different torso and legs, and again, she has that really cute little duck tail at the back. And lastly is our most recent member to the Core 6, and that is Pluto, and he is absolutely adorable, and he's currently available in a Mickey and Friends Fire Station set. It is quite pricey, and honestly, the main reason I bought this set, besides the rest of the figures, was really just for Pluto. He's got this little rubbery sort of rat tail, which looks quite funky and can sit across quite a large amount of studs. His head just looks adorable. Part of me wishes that his ears went down, but he is just too cute, and unfortunately, no part of him moves, even his head, so he's just sort of quite static, but I'm really glad to have him a part of the crew. Moving along, and next up we have Chip, who comes with a little acorn, and he's absolutely adorable and has these brown mid legs and some printing for his tail. I really wish that there was a little tail piece, but never mind. I'm really glad that he's a part of the crew, and I love his specially molded head. And of course, to go alongside him, we have to have Dale with his little red nose, and he comes with this little brown sack as well. He's pretty much the exact same as Chip, just a different color scheme, and again, has that little tail printing at the back. Moving along to the ducks, and we have quite a lot of people's favorite, and that is Scrooge Mcduck, and he comes along with a really cute little top hat, as well as a brand new molded head, a little coin, which I think is absolutely adorable, as well as his walking stick. He's got the same sort of duck tail, however, it does have blue printing on the front to sort of blend it in with his outfit, which I absolutely love. Overall, Scrooge just looks incredibly cute. He's even got these little arm printed cuffs, and I'm really happy with him, and he was featured in the Disney series too. And to go along with Uncle Scrooge, we have Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and these guys are just so cute. Now, in Disney Series 2, there was only actually one of these ducks in each box, so they are slightly more rare. They're sort of chase figures, but then since there was 3 chase figures, I sort of don't want to call them that. But overall, they're pretty basic and pretty plain. I mean, they've all got the same head, they've got pretty basic torsos, the same legs. They just differentiate in accessory as well as cap color. Also featured in series 2, we had the classic Steamboat Mickey, and this one is the one that doesn't have any metallic silver printing, and he also came along with this giant steering wheel. And personally, I actually have this one sat in my Steamboat Willie set just because I would rather protect the ones with metallic printing since they are a lot more valuable, although part of me actually thinks that these figures are a tiny bit more accurate than the ones in the official Ideas Steamboat Willie set, but nevertheless I really like him. And to go along with Mickey in that series, we had Minnie with the same deal, just sort of a non-metallic version of her, so her flower at the top of her hat is just plain white. She's got a grey skirt as well as some grey printing on her shoes. Meanwhile, here are the metallic versions, and these look really cool. I mean, Mickey is definitely a bit more rare than Minnie in this one because of his exclusive hat, but overall he looks really cute, and because he is slightly more special and I don't want the metallic to rub off, at least on his hat, I keep him in my minifigure frame and, like I said, keep that other Mickey in the set. Same deal goes for Minnie Mouse, although this figure is a lot less valuable despite being in the same set. Personally, I really like her skirt printing and I'm so scared that it's gonna scratch, so she just stays in the frame. Going back to the original Disney CMF, and we have the sort of classic pink Minnie. Now, I personally prefer the red and white Minnie, although this minifigure was really cute, and considering she was very cheap to get, it made it really easy. I love her little pink bow, I love her little pink skirt, her arms I can see being slightly helpful, and she's got a slightly different face with her eyelash printing being a lot less dramatic than the one from the Disney castle, but she still looks absolutely adorable, and her torso is very minimal, very classic, and honestly reminds me quite a lot of like some of the early 2000s like Minnie Mouse plushies. Next up, we have Fire Chief Mickey, and he came in the sort of 4+ Firehouse station. Now, I really want to get the rest of the sets in that wave because currently I've only got the Firehouse, but I find them really expensive. But honestly, Firehouse Mickey I think has to be one of my favorites. I just love the way that the cap is molded on him. He looks absolutely incredible. And then also in that set was Firehouse Minnie Mouse, and she's got a giant pink bow on the top, as well as her nice dramatic printed eyelashes on the front. They just look absolutely adorable. Also in that set was the return of Goofy, so for anyone who just could not afford the Disney train, this is a great option. I mean, his torso definitely isn't the greatest and he doesn't have any leg printing, but it is a really good substitute considering how expensive and desired that Goofy figure is. Moving along to the Disney Parks figures, and our first one up is Daisy. Now she's very similar to the one that was shown in the original Disney CMF, however she's got a different torso print, and also the shoes on her feet are a lot darker of a purple rather than sort of using that nice light pink. She's also got a purple bow this time around, and she looks really cute, but I mean to most people you probably wouldn't recognize that this is her Disney Parks outfit. And because it is her Disney Parks outfit, she is exclusive to the Disney Castle D2C. Also exclusive to that set, we have the sort of typical Disney Parks Mickey Mouse, and he looks so cute. He's got some extra printing on his pants. He also comes with this little coat tail cloth piece. His torso is so adorable, and it is just exactly what you'd sort of expect to see if you went to Disneyland or Disney World. You could get a picture with this Mickey, and he's so cute, and I'm really glad that they did sort of give him a variation for that set. Taking it back a couple of years, and we've got the original Disney World Mickey Mouse figure, and this actually came with this micro scale Disney castle, and currently he's quite hard to get a hold of. I mean, he's the first Mickey Mouse with eyebrows, which kind of look creepy but also really cute at the same time, and for the most part his outfit is very, very similar to the Disney Parks Mickey we see today. However, he doesn't come with a coat tail this time. I really wish that the set did something like that instead of just leaving him high and dry, especially considering it's for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary this set, but either way I think he looks really cute and is definitely something I don't think we'll see again. In the Disney train set, we also got a classic Parks version of Minnie. Now, I mean, a lot of you would probably look at the other red Minnie and be like, oh yeah, like that's the version from the parks. Actually, not quite. This dress is a lot more accurate to Disneyland and Disney World. I do wish, however, that they just gave her that same skirt piece because this fabric one just doesn't work for me. I mean, I get why it was, it's so that she could sit down in the Disney train, but it just never quite sits right, which is sort of frustrating. In the Disney train set too, we also got a train conductor Mickey in order to ride the steam train. I mean, I don't personally recall seeing this version besides maybe in a cartoon. I don't think he typically exists at Disneyland. I mean, part of me is remembering sort of a train conductor Mickey with a hat, but either way, I think he's absolutely adorable and it was a really good choice for that set. Next up is Dapper Chip with this really nice suit and waistcoat. I mean, this has been sort of redone several times. I've seen this in Build-A-Minifigure. It's also on Obadiah Stane these days, so he's not too exclusive, but again, it was sort of nice to have a variation. And then to go alongside him, of course, we've got Dapper Dale. They just look absolutely adorable. This one's in a waistcoat, and I haven't seen this torso pop up, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in like a year or two. And our last batch of figures are the Disney classics, and these are the ones that make me most excited. And starting off with Peter Pan, I think he had to be one of the best ones out of the original Disney CMF series. I think he looks adorable. I love his little printed sleeves, his printed legs, his specially molded hat, and his face just screams cartoon. I love him so, so, so much. Next up, we have Tinkerbell, and she is definitely not to scale, but she's a figure that I really like and appreciate. I love how her hair is done. Her face, however, doesn't seem quite right. I mean, this version of Tinkerbell was supposed to sort of represent the one at the Disney parks, hence why she's sort of not a little tiny micro figure, because, you know, this Tinkerbell's flying over the castle. She's meeting and greeting guests. But either way, I think she's really cute, and she's very, very expensive, which is sort of frustrating if you want to complete your little Peter Pan trio. You really have to fork out the cash for her, but I really love her. I definitely don't think that she's worth that sort of price tag. And lastly, for Peter Pan, we have Captain Hook, and this minifigure is spectacular. I think this has to be one of the best CMF figures that LEGO's really ever done. I love his headpiece so much, and his face is so cheesy and evil, and his printing, again, is amazing. Not to mention the fact that he does come with his hook. He's just so well done. I love this guy so much. Next up, we have Alice, and she looks really cute. She comes with a little Bite Me cookie as well as a Drink Me bottle, which I think was really cute accessory choice. I absolutely love her hairpiece. I think they did such a great job of capturing like that really odd sort of hair shape. Her outfit is extremely adorable as well, and she was again in the original Disney CMF series. Part of me wishes that there was a tiny bit more printing on her legs, but besides that, I think they did a really good job with her. And to go along with Alice in the same CMF series, we got the Cheshire Cat, and I love his head. It looks incredible. You also got a printed raccoon tail, as well as some sort of triple molded printed legs, some really nice arm printing on the sleeves too, which I love. I think he looks really cool, and I'm glad they didn't just make him like some sort of cat piece as an accessory with Alice. One figure that I cannot believe we got to this day is Stitch, and again, he came in that original Disney CMF series. I love his giant head. I mean, it's the reason we didn't get an accessory with him, but I really don't care. It's so detailed and so cute. I feel like this is one of the most valuable characters out of that CMF series these days, purely because of that molded head, and overall, he's just absolutely adorable, and I would love to see sort of a version of Stitch with his forearms in his little spacesuit as well, or even just Lilo to match. Heading over to Disney Series 2, we have Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King himself, and he's just so spectacular. I really wish he came with Zero though, instead of this little printed box. However, I do think it's really nice and comes with some printed sort of icicle tiles, or snowflake tiles more accurately, I feel like. And he's just incredible. I mean, he doesn't have his sort of typical lankiness that you typically would get since he is a minifigure, but I really love the printing on him nevertheless. He comes with these little spooky coattails pieces, as well as this really nice neck brace, and the printing on his face is just absolutely fantastic. And I really feel like you could just chuck a Santa hat on him and make him super festive, but he is amazing and was very high in demand. To go alongside him from the same series, I've also got Sally with her really nice red hair, which has now been recolored these days, and overall the printing on her again is spectacular, but I feel like she's just nowhere near as sort of interesting as Jack is, purely because of just, you know, who Jack is as a character. I just feel like Sally doesn't quite compete, especially with her eyes being quite small. I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't quite work properly, but either way, I really like her. Another one in my Disney villain collection is Hades, and I absolutely love him. I mean, his accessory of just the fire flames is kind of boring, but I don't really care. But overall, I think he's spectacular. I love his leg tentacle piece and how it is different to Ursula. I also love the fact that it's got some printing on it. That's something that I just did not ever expect. His head as well, being the Ghost Rider piece, is spectacular. I mean, his face sort of looks a bit awkward and like uncomfortable and cheesy, but overall this figure's design is just spectacular, and I'm really glad to have him in my collection because I didn't think it was ever gonna happen. More so than Hades, I'm also really glad to have Hercules in my collection. I adore his little printed shield. I think it looks spectacular. His printing on literally just everything. I love his sandals. I love his little skirt. His side leg printing, again, is so detailed. Like, this figure just looks perfect. His little cheesy face, his hair, his little cape even. The only thing is just, you know, his proportions. I mean, he just looks kind of skinny. I mean, I don't think he should be a big fig. I definitely think that just a regular minifigure worked perfectly, but I would be so great if one day we could have Megra to sort of match him, or even Pegasus, and just really like flesh out the entire Hercules line. And then finally, our last sub-theme is Winnie the Pooh, and these are the most recent additions in terms of sort of just new Disney characters, and these all come from the LEGO Ideas Winnie the Pooh set, which I absolutely love. I have a feeling that this set is going to be ridiculously expensive in the future just because of how amazing and classic these minifigures are. I absolutely love Pooh, although I do wish that he had mid-legs just to make him look a tiny bit more in proportion, but at the end of the day, I don't mind. He's just absolutely adorable and comes with his little balloon. Next up is Piglet, who has always been my favorite Winnie the Pooh character, and again, he's just so cute. His torso print is pretty plain, and he comes along with this little red scarf, as well as the Winnie the Pooh book with Winnie the Pooh in the middle, as well as the fan designer's name, Ben Alder, on the inside, which I thought was so nice and such a cute little reference. I just love Piglet. He's adorable. The next minifigure I've got is Tigger, and I think he is definitely my favorite out of that entire Winnie the Pooh set. I love his printed arms, his printed tail, his head mold as well is absolutely perfect, and I definitely think it is the best done one out of the entirety of the Winnie the Pooh set. I'm just blown away by it. I think it's amazing, and he comes with this little satchel bag sort of thing to throw over his shoulder, and I absolutely love him. He's the best. Just like Pluto, he's technically not a minifigure, but I had to include Eeyore. I love him. I love as well how they incorporated one of the Friends bows into Eeyore. He's so cute, and I really hope that we can get an alternate pose for Eeyore in the future somehow, somewhere. Do I realistically think it's gonna happen? No, but either way, I love him again. And the final minifigure for this collection is Rabbit, who comes along with a little carrot. And again, he's really cute. I just wish there was a little bunny tail. It's just kind of a shame that they didn't include it, but nevertheless, he's fantastic. And just the more the merrier with any Disney figure for me. So that is the entirety of my Disney Classics minifigure collection. I really enjoyed showing you guys all of these, and I think they look absolutely adorable together. And if you're interested as well in seeing the Disney Princess and Disney Pixar ones, I will be posting those in a couple of days on this channel. So subscribe down below if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.